We're talking with Scott Hudson of Beacon Credit Union. mybcu.org is the website. Talk about renovations, and everyone always wants to make improvements to their house. Some are wiser than others, economically speaking, in terms of reinvesting money back into your home, right?
An investment in your home gives you one of the great returns, which is quality of life. I think it can also save you some money, obviously, by improving outdated things that are in your home that are maybe costing more in the form of electricity and air conditioning. I think some of the TV programs that we see today make us think it's really easy to make our houses look like a show home. Probably encourage people to take out a home equity loan for their own home renovation project. But like any investment, it's wise to think about which renovations will get the best return when you may sell your home. Let that influence your borrowing decision.
Right at the top of the list is a pool, right? Put a pool in.
I'm always reluctant to tell people how to spend their money for their own personal enjoyment, but traditionally you are right, Rich. Home improvements, a pool is one of those regretted home improvements, but they can be for someone who is envisioning themselves, living out the rest of their lives in their home.
If it's about the enjoyment and the pleasure you're going to get from it, go ahead and do it. But if you're looking at resale value, not going to get your money back.
No, and that is really what you need to consider. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do with my home over the next 5, 10, 20 years? And then that's going to determine a lot, not only, what your project's going to be, because they're going to be numerous, but they're going to determine what your lending plan is going to be if you go in for a home equity loan.
What are some of the examples? Obviously, joking about pool being a great investment, it's not. What are some much better examples of ways to spend some money, and in some cases, very little money, but things that could pay big dividends?
Well, if you're in a home that's been around for, I don't know, let's say 10, 15 years, you're probably looking at things like fresh paint and hardware. I know they don't sound real fancy, but they give you an immense payback. When people, if you're thinking about selling your home, people come through and see fresh paint, they see new hardware, doorknobs. They have given traditionally the biggest bang for your buck. If you take a look at a lot of the traditional investments with the cost to do that, and those are easy things that people can do themselves. Like new windows. I just had new windows put in my home, not only for maintenance purposes, but as an aesthetic upgrade. The technology in windows now is so improved over what was around just as little as 10 or 15 years ago. My home's 30 years old, and the windows in my home, I may as well just let the windows open. And today, not only is the heat in savings, but they have these treatments on there that can lower the level of light, that way it heats your home up. But that is a tremendous, one of the high-ranking returns. And then, of course, the obvious kitchens and bathrooms can be major expenses. They are huge in dollar, but they can give you also some of your biggest returns, too. Mm-hmm. And I think you mentioned pools and hot tubs are not good investments. Quite often when homeowners sell, they're forced to bear the cost of these bad type of investments if they didn't think the time frame out. Anybody who's worth their salt when you go in to make a home equity loan is going to ask you those kinds of questions. And then they'll say, well, not based on how much equity you have in your home. They're not doing you any favors. What they should be doing is saying, well, what kind of things were you thinking of doing? And of course, you're taking the money, obviously, and going right back into the home. Bank people love hearing that because, that they're invested in your home when they make you the loan. That is some of the keys that we feel when we're talking to people about home equity loan.
Not just on the banking side, but on the investment side. In this case, the question is why, but that all boils down to everyone's individual situations, circumstances, and needs.
Yes.
Because again, why someone may want to put in a pool or a hot tub when it's not theoretically a good investment in your house, but you just had kids, you're planning on staying in this house for years and years and years. It may be for somebody based on their individual situation.
I think anybody that is looking for making that kind of investment needs to have somebody they can share that information with openly. I mean, if it's going to save you the money, if we're talking about a pool, this cost of joining a pool membership or something, it might very well work out. Sometimes, you're in the passion oh, we're just so excited about all these ideas. And then you need the cold banking person to sit there and give you the look your mom or your dad used to give you when you had this really great idea, and they want to go, you really want to do that? We try to give you, a little bit of devil's advocate, if you will. And you get that for free. You get that devil's advocate, that frowning look for free. You just can't buy that.
Scott Hudson of Beacon Credit Union, mybcu.org. Scott, thank you.
Thanks, Rich.